Now, here's an opponent that I've played a couple of times on my channel. I think I have like maybe 1 or 2 matches with them. I think at there was a point in time where he was a 7, but I think he dropped down to a 6 during our match here. That's why the race hasn't changed. It's going to be another 5-4 race. And remember, again, this is still during the time frame where, like I said, all I'm trying to do is just 8-ball breaks. I want to be able to try to make the 8-ball on the break and the rack as soon as possible, and then move on to the next one. And then here in the spring for 2022, when I get some new matches in, that's when I'll go back to doing a more classic break of hitting the head ball, trying to produce a massive spread, and then be able to hopefully break and run the table if I'm able to. But then when I'm on the hill, then I will switch to doing an 8-ball break just to try to close the set immediately. I always flip-flop back and forth between the two. For the main reason is just to show my APA teammates, like, all the pros and cons of, breaking, head on into the rack versus doing the 8-ball break. And so that way they start to become more familiar with and more comfortable with utilizing those types of break styles. So with a race to 5-4, again, with this matchup here, let's see how we do. Okay, looks like I won the lag on this one. Okay, so like I said, starting with the second ball break. Again, this goes with some bottom right spin, I think. Let's watch the cue ball. There was a point in time to where I started putting nothing but bottom. And I don't remember when I started doing that. You can see like the cue ball is behind the rack, so that's clearly some bottom right spin. But what in the world did I make on the break? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm stripes. And it looks like I have nothing to shoot at but that 14 ball. And I guess it looks like I should be able to cut it over there to the side pocket that you saw me gesture. I see I got a lot of bottom spin. I'm going to hit that rail, so what kind of side spin do I have on it? That's bottom right spin. Pull the cue ball out towards the middle of the table. Am I able to shoot the 11 ball? There I'm checking to see if the 12 ball can pass between the 1 and this looks like my 14 ball to go here into the bottom corner pocket. That looks like a rolling cue ball. So I must be shooting the 12 next. Or change my mind when I get there. That's a common thing. Or maybe I just have an angle that I actually don't want. So it looks like I have a little bit of draw. Probably some right spin. Nope, just draw. And judging by the way I'm looking, I probably wanted position on this guy, but I think my cue ball might have moved enough to where the 8 ball blocks me. So does that mean I have to go for the 15 now? Or can I see this ball? Clearly, I can shoot this 15 ball into the upper right corner pocket, but right now I'm trying to figure out how to close the rack out from here. Oh, I guess I can see the 14 ball. What am I going to do with this? Am I drawing it? I did draw it. That was with some bottom right in order to be able to do that. So do I have a good enough angle now just to be able to draw off of the 15 ball? I need to land somewhere right here just so I can access the 9 ball. Yeah, kind of like that. And so here, all I should have to do now is just allow the cue ball to just roll. You can see right here, this is where I'm landing, so I can play the 8-ball here into the side pocket. So my only concern is this 1-ball. If this 1-ball blocks me, then I've ran all the way here for nothing. So I'm pretty sure all I did was just roll the cue ball, probably with just a touch of left spin. Oh, pretty close. Pretty close. I said it's been a while since I did these matches here, but now you can see I marked the 8-ball for the side pocket. And if I make this, I think I start this set off with a break and run. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I opened the set with a break and run on that one. Nope. Keep on forgetting to update the cue ball. Okay, that's a pretty decent break there. What did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I made 2 solids, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 stripe. So really, I would hope that I run this one out too. Let's see, 13-ball, top spin. Do I have a touch of left? Spin out maybe for the 11-ball in the side pocket. Looks like that's correct. I didn't spin far enough. Does that mean I'm going to shoot it in the corner? Yeah, I think so. I think I have a little bit of draw on this one here. I think I'm shooting that 11 into the top left corner pocket. Oh, and I undercut the ball. So that's how you mess up a break and run right there. All right, so my opponent gets his first chance at the table at solids. And it doesn't look like he has much to work with. Maybe cut the 1-ball into the top left corner pocket? Or can he see enough of the 7? Or does the 5 pass the 7? I can't really tell. The 5 does pass the 7. Bumps the 6-ball. Yeah, I think he wanted to maybe bump the stripes. Looks like he's got some top spin. He's going to follow up after the 7. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay. That gives him a shot at the 2-ball. Does he try to draw the cue ball into the 10? That way it holds position for the 1. Yeah, kind of like that. This is looking good for my opponent. What's he going to do with that 6-ball, though? Okay, just holds the cue ball there. 6-ball cuts to the bottom right corner pocket. You can just allow the cue ball to go from side to side and play the 8 in the side pocket. Oh, it looks like he overcut it. He overcut the ball. Oh, man. That was a really good run. Hey, Ron, the pool student, thanks for being here, bud. You have yourself a happy new year. All right, so I come back to the table. I thought I might have lost that rack, and you can see this is going to be my issue unless I figure out how to deal with it. Let's see. This looks like some top left spin. Am I going to try to break it out now? That's what I tried. That's what I tried. I tried to break it up. Couldn't do it. So it looks like I'm going to play safe. So this is kind of what I was talking about from the last match here. I can identify that I'm not going to be able to finish the table. So I tried to play a defensive shot. I don't remember, judging by the way I reacted from walking away there, I don't think I pushed the cue ball far enough to where the 14 ball perfectly blocks the cue ball. So I just I don't know if my opponent. I don't think my opponent could shoot straight at it and make it, or can he? Like, the camera angle makes it look like he can't. He should be able to hit it. Oh, he could shoot straight at it. Oh, goodness gracious. So I got off a little lucky there. But like I said, since I identified that there was no way I was going to run the rack without doing some sort of a hero shot. So the idea was obviously to be able to push the 11 ball into the short rail and have my cue ball hide behind the 14 ball to where my opponent has to kick at his 6 ball. And if he kicks unsuccessfully, I get ball in hand with 4 balls wide out in the open. So when we look at that side pocket shot there, that's just a rolling cue ball. And it looks like I'm going to be shooting the 14 ball next. Looks like I'm stunning the cue ball. What am I doing here? Okay, stun the cue ball to get position on the 11. That must mean maybe what? The 12 ball's gonna, or the 8 ball's going to go here into the upper right corner pocket. What am I doing? That looks like top left. Oh, top right. I'm trying to get position for the 8 in the side pocket. Roll some more. Roll some more. Yeah, so I'm going to try to cut the 8 ball in the side pocket. This is a rather thin cut shot, but hopefully everybody should know that I'm comfortable taking really thin cut shots. I shouldn't have to shoot them, but I'm comfortable taking them. There we go. 8 in the side pocket. That puts me up 2-0. Oh, look at the 8. Look at the 8. 8 on the break. Got a break and run along with the 8 on the break. How did they get there? Let's look at it one more time. Look how much attention I put into my break. You see me just sitting there for the longest time. So it looks like it's heading towards the side pocket and then gets bumped by the stripe to be able to go into the upper corner pocket. So I couldn't really tell if it was actually going to fall into the right side pocket if it had enough pace to do so. But then when another ball comes and kicks it in there, I get a little lucky and it falls in the upper right corner pocket. So instant win there. Now, like I said, watch how much attention I put into my break when I get down. Look how much time I'm putting into this break. I want to make sure that I contact that ball that's in the second row just right to get a spread like this in case I make a ball. But I broke dry on this one. Let's see here. What's my opponent going to do? Looks like he wants stripes. Ooh, nice little draw stroke there. That gives him the 15 in the side, it looks like. He can probably bump into his 12. That way we know it'll go past the 9 ball. I wonder if that's what he was trying to do, or did he just want position on the 11? I mean, that was a good shot. The only thing I would have to say that I'm not too fond of is how he's going from one end of the table to the other, right? So we just saw that he was at the foot end of the table, shooting some balls. Now he's come down to the head end of the table. Now he's about to return back to the foot end of the table, only to return back to the head end of the table to be able to shoot the 8-ball, hopefully. Oh, and he misses the 13 ball. Mark V, looks like a push shot. Which shot looked like a push shot? We can go back and look at it. Let's see. It looks like I'm playing the 5 in the lower right. Looks like I've just got a rolling cue ball. It gives me automatic position for the 3. Down the rail to the bottom left. All right, so let's go back and look. Down the rail to the... Oh, that must be this shot. 10-ball shot. Let's have a look. Yeah. I think I might have to agree with you on that one. That cue ball instantly starts to roll. There's no hesitation. Yeah, in retrospect, I probably would have to agree with you on that one. And again, this being back a session ago, not I must have not been paying enough attention to want to call someone to come and watch it. Because if someone's not watching the shot, I can't say anything because it's gonna be the shooter's call. He clearly thinks it was a good hit, so that's why he continues to shoot after that. But looking at the replay and judging by how the cue ball was reacting, I think I would have to agree with you that that was probably a double hit on the cue ball, and therefore actually would be a foul. So returning back to my position here, this is where I shot the 5-ball into the lower right corner pocket. The cue ball just rolls, gives me natural position for the 3-ball. So I would have to think that I'm not going to do anything with the cue ball and just get position on the 2. So more than likely just another rolling cue ball. Andrew L, happy birthday. Thanks for being here on the stream. And I see that I've got 84 of y'all in here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Always appreciative to have people taking the time out of their day to come spend with me when I do stuff like this. You can see it looks like I'm waiting for someone on the table next to me to shoot. Let's fast forward a bit. There we go. So what we just saw, it looks like I wanted to know where the position of the cue ball needed to be to get position on the 7. So still just using a rolling cue ball to come out here towards the middle of the table so that way I can shoot the 7-ball, which opens the 6-ball up. Now it looks like I've got bottom left. Does that mean I'm getting position on the 1-ball that's on the opposite side of the table, or am I trying to get position on the 4? Nope, getting position on the 1. Don't really like that I got really flat on the 1-ball. And I can't see what that looks like bottom. I can't see what type of spin I have on the cue ball. That had to have been a little bit of bottom right. That gives me position for the 2. So I can probably play this with a touch of right spin and some top spin to come behind the 8-ball to have position on the 6, which means the 4-ball has to be the last ball that I'm going to shoot at. Because now I can play this probably with some stun left, come out to about right here. If I got straighted on the 4-ball, then I can just draw the cue ball back to play the 8-ball into the side or into the same corner pocket. If I get some sort of an angle, then I could probably play position for the 8 to go here into the side pocket. So there's the stun left. Or do I just roll forward and play the 8 in the upper left? It looks like I've got draw. So I think the 8-ball goes into the same pocket, just like that. Go and grab my marker. John Hill, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by the stream. You're currently looking at my second of 4 matches that I'm going to review from the fall 2021 session of APA. So, and there's that. Does that put me on the hill? Or have I jumped the gun? Broke and ran the first rack, won the second one, 8-ball broke on the third one, and then just won this one. So yeah, so I think that puts me on the hill. Yeesh. Not so much of a spread on that break there. Well, thank you, John. I do appreciate that. You actually missed on the first matchup there that I reviewed. My performance in that match just wasn't the greatest. Lots of misses on that one, and the lesson that I tried to portray off of that was the idea of doing too much to be able to try to create something. So like when there's not a whole lot that you can do with your cue ball to be able to get position on the next ball, you try to do a little something extra, and by doing so, you end up missing the current shot that you're trying to take, which is what happened to me a lot on the last match there. So my opponent takes off and starts with solids. Now right here, I'm actually thinking about shooting the 4-ball, given this position here, because when I look at the 2-ball, I can't tell if the 2-ball goes, but if it did, I would want to play the 4-ball into the corner pocket and have the cue ball come over here and bump the 10 out of the way, so that way hopefully I can shoot the 2-ball next. That's at least what I'm thinking. And if I can't shoot the 2-ball, then maybe I can just shoot my 7 or even the 6, so long as the 10-ball doesn't get in the way. Looks like my opponent might be looking at it right now, unless he changes his mind. So yeah, it looks like he's going to go for the 5-ball. 5-ball should be able to at least set him up for the 3. I think that looks like the natural roll that it's going to happen, just like this. So this is a good shot. Now, the question becomes does he get position on the 6 here? Looks like he's got some left spin on the cue ball. I think that's what he's trying to do. Yep, that's to get position on the 6. Okay. Now I'm really starting to wonder about that 2-ball, though. Definitely got to have some left spin on this cue ball for this shot here. 6 goes into the upper right corner pocket. Oh, and he overcut it, though. Okay, so that allows me to come to the table. And I've got a bit of a mess to work with. I don't want to risk shooting the 11 ball to the upper left corner pocket, especially from the angle that I'm at, because then I'm more than likely going to scratch in the side pocket. Now here in retrospect, I can look and see that I probably should have just played my cue ball into the 12 and banked the 12 and try to leave the cue ball like right around here maybe. I can't tell if he'd be able to see the 4-ball, but even if he could see the 4-ball, he loses access from being able to play his 2. I end up opening his 2 for him by cutting that ball in. That was probably not the smartest choice I could have made on that on this inning here. Let's see here. Bob Henson, you're asking if the shot down the rail was a foul. Going back and looking at it, I do believe it was probably a double hit, just judging by the reaction of the cue ball. But I wasn't. Somebody wasn't watching the shot at the time, so there was nothing I can do at that point. All right, so this looks like. What am I doing? Ooh, okay. So that must clearly mean that the 9-ball did not pass by the 2. to go here into the corner pocket. Instead, I end up playing the 9 ball off of the 4 and having it carom into the corner pocket. It didn't look like my cue ball went anywhere, so that had to be basically a stop shot. And then what's the setup that I have after that? Oh, the cue ball kind of rolls a little bit. Okay, that gives me position on the 14 ball. I think my 10 ball can go into the corner pocket, and this is going to be a trouble spot. And then I still have my 12 ball down here. So what do I do here? Yeah, I'm looking at these 2 balls here because I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with here. Like I can obviously get some sort of position where I can shoot the 13, but then what in the world am I gonna do with the 11 ball? Right? There's hardly any position that I can play that's going to allow me to shoot at them or shoot at it. I'm pretty sure I did not mean to do that. I think it looks like I was trying to get position on the 10 ball, so that was a little bit of a draw shot, and I'm certain that was probably to try to get position on the 10 ball, maybe even the 12. Rack Accoutrements, welcome back to the stream, bud, and Happy New Year. So here, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to give the table back to my opponent, unless I am trying to bank that into the cross corner. No, yeah, I do play a safety. So all I can do there is just try to create some distance. Doesn't look like he can see his 2 ball. Doesn't look like he can see his 6 ball. He can see his 4 ball, and it looks like the 4 will not scratch if he tries to cut this into the corner. Let's see here. Oh, can he see his 2? Oh, he's looking at the 7. Oh, I'm not even paying attention. He's looking at the 7. Nice little carom off of the 6. So this doesn't look good for me. So I think at the very least, my so-called safety is a distance safety shot. I tried to leave the cue ball as far away from any of his object balls as possible, and if he comes with it and makes it, then he deserves it. Ooh, did he get far enough? He, he's bowing his head down. I don't think he got far enough. Oh, he did get far enough. I wonder why he bowed his head down like that. It seems like a gesture to where it's like he didn't get the position that he was looking for. So 8 in the upper right corner pocket or upper left corner pocket, and this puts him on the board. There we go. All right. Okay, looks like he's going for a second ball break as well, but he does it from the right side of the table. So let's see if all the balls go to the left and then come back over to the right. Not so much. Not so much. Pretty decent spread. Didn't look like he made anything, though. Let's see here. Lance Fishing Fiend, you've been watching a lot of my videos and you're trying to go from a 5 to a 6. I mean, you gotta put in the table time, right? You can watch all my videos that you want, but unless you take what you watch off of my videos or anybody's videos for that matter, and don't put in the table time, you know, it's gonna take more time than you think to be able to go from 5 to 6. But it's certainly achievable. It's certainly achievable. Whoops. Looks like I tried to slow roll the 6 ball to go past the 5 ball. I just end up clipping that 5 ball. So even though I wanted solids, my opponent takes it from me. And that's just rude. And it also looks really good why my opponent would want solids. There's no issue. There's no issue with solids. Look at all the issues Stripes had, especially with that 3-ball clutter. Now that's interesting. I mean, it worked out. 3 goes in the corner. You just roll this in for position on the 4. Here, you can just cut the 4 on the side and get position for the 2. Oh, did that ball skid? I think it did. I think it did. Can y'all see that well enough? I think the cue ball and the 4-ball skid apart. And what that means is that right at the point of contact, yeah, I think it did. Right at the point of contact between the cue ball and the 4-ball, somewhere on the cue ball, most likely, is some chalk debris. And if that ever happens, then there's going to be too much friction between the cue ball and the object ball, and you're actually going to throw the object ball a whole lot more than you intended. And you can actually see. Let's try to watch it one more time. You can actually see the 4-ball kind of backspin for a second and then start to roll forward. And that's actually the skid effect that happens and can be obviously really detrimental to your shot. Because it seemed like he hit that good enough, but because he hit it with so slow of a pace, and the cue ball is revolving around as it gets towards the object ball, at that wrong pivotal moment as the cue ball is spinning and it makes contact, there's just that little chalk debris on the cue ball that comes right there at the point of contact and causes that to happen. All right, so let's see here. It looks like I saw that I was going to try to carom the 10-ball off of the 4 to be able to break out that clutter there, and I was unsuccessful. Let's see here. He's going to cut the 7 into the top left. He is successful. Sheet this in probably with a touch of left spin. Come in between all of my stripes to be able to have a shot at the 4-ball, just like that. Does the 8-ball go in the upper left corner pocket past the 15? Ooh. Never mind. 8-ball side pocket. Okay. Nice shot there. Nicely done. 4-2. Okay, that looks like a dry break. And this looks like another instance where solids look to be the best set to choose. Don't really see an issue with solids. Steve Cove, you're asking what is my pocket marker? At the time, I was using one of my teammates' pocket markers, which is a little figurine of Alvin the Chipmunk. Typically, I would just like grab my phone or something and mark the pocket with that. So Trevor, you're saying that he seems to get a lot of clusters on his breaking side, and that's what I was showing you from before. Like even on the last match and this match, it's you can either argue it that how many gaps are in the rack that basically cause different types of spreads to occur, or the hit on the second ball, because I've shown to where like there were certain hits that you can actually do to where like there's just this nice spread to where you can break and run the rack with. I actually remember seeing an old BCA teammate of mine do that repeatedly, like there was no issue. And I actually had to ask him, I was like, what are you doing? That's because I'm used to seeing balls go from one side and track over to the other. But every time he would break, the balls would just like spread out, like there was like it was nothing, like it was a head-on break. And the only thing I eventually figured out it came down to like how precise you can actually hit that second ball. Am I running the table here while I'm blabbing on? What am I gonna do with that 11? I'm gonna have to think so, Trevor, that it does have to. A lot of it has to do with where exactly you contact that second ball. And that's why you see me when I'm breaking the second ball, I spend a lot of time making sure that my cue ball is lined up exactly where I want it to be lined up before I strike. That looks like I just rolled the ball in. I'm going to be taking this long shot here. So I have to be putting follow on this one so that way I can shoot the 10 ball into the side pocket. Just like that. And then I'm more than likely going to follow again, make sure that I follow the cue ball to get past the 3. There I'm glancing to see like how much room do I have past the 3, so that way I don't have too thin of a cut shot on the 8 ball. So the 8 ball should be going into the upper right corner pocket. This more than likely is going to be some sort of a stop shot or a stun shot. A little bit of a stun shot, and I'm able to take that match down 5-2. So I don't really think there was much to talk about on this one here. Nothing spectacular. It's always it's usually going to be like the rinse and repeat of understanding the strategies, identifying the trouble balls. Being able to play decent patterns to break the trouble balls out, play different types of strategies. I think the only quote unquote cool things that I had happen on this one was the break and run that I started the set off with, and then the 8 on the break that I got on, I think it was rack 3. I think it was rack 3. And that I think that equates to what's called a mini slam in APA. I don't remember what a grand slam is. Like if I would have won 5-0, if I would have won 5, if I would have got, if I won the lag, so if I would have won 5-0 with an 8 ball break and a break and run, is that considered a grand slam, or is a grand slam something that's in is that in Masters League where you play both 8 ball and 9 ball and you get a break and run an 8 ball, an 8 ball break on 8 ball, and then a 9 ball break and run with a 9 ball on the break. Maybe that's what I'm confusing a grand slam with. I don't remember.